to you live from the house. We have another episode of Cooking with Robbie. Hello everybody. It is time for another episode of Cooking with Robbie. And tonight, as you can see from my list of ingredients, we are not making dinner. I've already had dinner. But this is going to be for a get together at the office tomorrow. And as I have seen, nobody has put their name on the list next to desserts. We are going to make a cake, a special cake, a Robbie cake. So we've got all of our ingredients here. We have a Dunkin' Dines yellow cake mix here. We have some Toll House chocolate chip semi-sweet thingamajiggies. We may not need those, we may need them. We have some creamy chocolate frosting, also Dunkin' Hines brand. We have some Fisher chopped walnuts. We have 6 fresh large eggs, 2 sticks of unsalted butter, the most important ingredient of all, the Watkins Pure Vanilla Extract, and a Hostess Jumbo Honey Bun. Now you might ask, why is this an ingredient in making a cake? Well, here's the trick. If you want the cake to survive until tomorrow morning, you better have a honey bun sitting around so that you don't eat some before the next morning. Because everybody's gonna know if there's a piece missing first thing in the morning, that somebody ate a piece of that cake and it probably wasn't anybody in the office. It would most likely be blamed on me. So we have our emergency rations to get us through the night. So we got all the ingredients, we got the stove. I think we're ready to cook. So first thing first, let's go ahead and preheat the oven. We're gonna go to 350 degrees, which it defaults to, so that makes it even better. We need to go ahead and get our ingredients while that's preheating. We need 3/4 of a cup of water. So we got our cup of water. Is this a 3/4? I've actually got a measuring cup with 3/4 on it. So let's get that done. Filling up the water over here by the fridge. Now you viewers at home, you're probably watching your time clock right now. I have a feeling this is gonna take us about 15 minutes to get it in the oven. Our cooking time is, let's see, it says, bake. Oh, here we go. Depends on your pan size, which we're gonna make a pancake. We're not gonna make a pancake, we're gonna make a cake in a pan. Which, let's see here, I think we wanna use this one. It's pretty deep for a pan, but I don't want it to flow over either. I don't wanna mess around with making a double layer cake, which we could do that, but we're not. I think if you can't make a single layer cake the right way, there's no need to make a double layer cake. And I think a single layer cake is gonna spread around the office a little bit better, because I really don't know how many people we're gonna have show up to this thing. Now, I did get this from the yard sale the other day, and I wanted to use this for Jell-O, because I just think it's a really fancy mold. It kind of looks like a flower. So, I mean, I guess we could put the cake in here and let it cook, but I just don't know. I think this is meant for a different, maybe a Jell-O mold, not really a cake. Not aluminum. Let's see, Miro, the finest aluminum. I guess it is aluminum. But anyway, we'll save this for another day. We're not trying to be too flashy. That's what the walnuts are for. Now we got a mess. There we go. I got a feeling, whoa, one of these days I'm gonna open up this cabinet and I'm gonna get bludgeoned with pans. I think that's a little more stable. Okay, so we got our oven preheated, we've got our pan selected, we've got our water poured, we got our 3 large eggs, 7 tablespoons of melted butter. I guess we'll follow the directions. Step 1 is we need to grease the pan with the butter. No, with pan baking spray, which we've actually got. So let me grab that out. I missed that on our ingredients list, but I actually have it. So we got our Pam spray, always comes in handy to have around the kitchen. So we're just gonna put a little bit of that right on there. There we go. We've got our greased pan. Put that to the side. Let's see. Now we need a mixing bowl. So we're gonna get our big mixing bowl, because this is fancy. We need a blender too. Blend the cake mix, the water, the eggs, and melted butter in a large bowl on low speed, about 30 seconds, and then at medium speed for 4 minutes. And into the pans and bake immediately. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and we'll put the water, no, let's put the water in, let's put the mix in first. Sounds about right. We don't want to throw the directions away yet, because I got a feeling we'll need those. Gonna make us a small incision here. I need a cutter. We've got a bread knife here. It'll cut through plastic like bread. So in goes the cake mix. Nice and easy. There we go. All the cake mix is in there. And another trick is you can use the box for the garbage can. That's an old household trick. Let's see, we need 3 large eggs. I guess we should work on this butter. So it says 7 teaspoons of butter. So let's open up one of these. Now, I didn't like our butter situation where it ended up going. You know, you don't really think about it a whole lot, but there's not a whole lot of different brands of butter out there. Now, if you want margarine, that's one thing, but you know, straight up butter, I mean, look at this mess. The daggone measuring thing is off. How am I supposed to measure this butter when the measuring thing comes around the edge? This, I will not recommend to anybody. This is Minerva Dairy Amish butter. These Amish need to learn how to put the wrapper on the butter straight. It did the same thing on this thing. So here's your whole, this is 2 sticks of butter put together, and the wrapper's in the middle. So I mean, I can do like this. So, all right, let's count this out. Look out, Hope. She thinks she wants some butter. So let's see. Teaspoons? 7 tablespoons of melted butter. So that's the tablespoons. We need 1. So we use this as our measuring thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7. Oh, why don't they just put it on the package and a whole stick of butter is 7 tablespoons of Lord have mercy. Okay, well, let's put this extra butter. We just need 1 stick of butter. 1 stick of butter. So we're putting this in the fridge for later use, even though I will not buy this brand of butter again. And now that I'm looking at it, I've got some Land O'Lakes butter in the fridge already, so I didn't even need to buy any butter. So let's get us a bowl real quick, and we're going to melt the butter. You know what? We need to do this in a pan. It's going to take too long in the microwave. Let's go ahead and get our oven going. There we go. I thought I had a smaller pan than this. Oh, we've got a little pan here. We're gonna put it here. Let's go ahead and get the vent fan going. Apologize about the noise. Now I did have a special plan. I got some new audio equipment I borrowed from a friend. I ended up breaking the microphone. I bought a new microphone, and this new microphone set, well, I guess I still probably could have used it. But anyway, I bought a whole kit for the microphone for the audio, and it comes up, it's for a computer, not for an iPhone, so I didn't do enough research when I bought it. So I could have hooked it up to the computer and used a different streaming software, but the Apple side really makes things easy. So we'll just stick with that for now. So again, we put our butter in there. It's cooking up real quick and melting up, so I mean, it's as fast as putting it in the microwave for a minute and safer. Because microwaves are dangerous. I don't trust them. Anyway, we're melting the butter in the pan. We're just kind of sifting it around, making sure it melts up real nice. Now I said melted, so I'm assuming it means all the way melted. It doesn't say partially melted. So we're melting it all the way until it's liquid. We're going to pour it right in there. While that's happening, let's go ahead and crack our eggs. We'll keep that. I'm going to put the heat down to low so I don't burn the butter. I don't know if that's possible, but I don't want to find out. And we'll go ahead and crack our eggs. Throw those in there. You know, I've actually gone on YouTube and I've looked for the easiest way to crack an egg, and some people say you want to start around here and just gently tap it around. So I sit there and I've tried that before, and it'll crack the egg all right, but you end up with a shattered mess. I think your best bet, if you use fresh eggs, it's definitely easier to crack them. They peel apart super easy. But the best advice I can give on cracking an egg is just do it. Just go ahead and hit it once. You get a nice even crack, and then tear it open, and you're done. None of this soft tapping and listening to it and talking to it. Just crack the egg. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna wash my hands because I got a little egg on me. We'll get our blender out, and we'll be about ready to start mixing up this cake and making it partially edible. They always say don't eat cookie dough, and I know, you know, I think part of it's because of the raw eggs, but I'm not going to pretend to understand why you can't eat something that tastes so good, because I love not just cookie dough, but cake batter too. So we got this part. Here's half of the equation. I probably should have had this out before I started, but you know, it's kind of half of the fun. Just finding your utilities in the kitchen. Let's see here. Where is it? Well, I had a hand mixer. I don't know where it went, but I've actually got a blender if I can find both of the things for it. So let's plug this in. We'll unplug the can opener for a minute. Let's go ahead and turn on our overhead light under here. There's a little more light so I can see what we're doing. We'll hook that up. There we go. Yeah, this is the wrong one. Our butter appears to be completely melted. Here's one. Here's two. Here's three. Here's four. No, that's not. So I got 3 blender mixer thingamajiggies. These two match, so we'll put that one back. You know, I've seen them with 1, I've seen them with 2, but I've never seen a blender with 3 blender mixer things. Maybe I could invent the first one. I'm sure there'd be some money in that. So we're gonna pour our butter in there. Right on top of that cake mix. I'm not gonna lie, I like butter, and this smells like popcorn. So I mean, I could probably tear right into it now, but we almost forgot the secret ingredient. 1 capful of this will make this cake the most outstanding cake in the world. I'm not faulting Duncan Hines, but they can't put liquids in that box. I mean, I guess they could. They could put a capful of this in there. This is what makes that cake delicious. So we'll set that aside. We've added the secret ingredient. We've added the regular ingredients. And now we're going to mix it. Now you don't want to turn the blender on right away. You want to kind of hand mix it until, because if you hit it too early, you're going to have a mess. And now we're going to go to slow speed for 30 seconds. 30 seconds of slow mix. And you want to work it around to get all that batter. Yep. It's coming together. It looks like cake batter now. Hope looks a little concerned, but Trust me, Hope, it's okay. We're going to survive. I think it's the whining of the electric engine, the struggle that is life. But don't worry, when you finish the struggle, you get cake, and it's all worthwhile. So we continue to beat it. We continue to, I wasn't keeping count. I feel like it's probably been about 30 seconds. The consistency of the cake has definitely changed, so I'll say we've hit our 30 seconds. Okay, we mixed all that until moisten, 30 seconds. And now it said blend first, now it says beat. Beat it at medium speed for 4 minutes. So, let's see. I'm just gonna say, turn it up halfway and count to 4 minutes. I'm gonna spare you all the details of watching me beat this thing for 4 minutes, and hopefully it's not gonna make a big mess. If it does, I'll let you know when we come back, but we're gonna pause it here and I'll be back in 4 minutes. Okay, we're back again. The cake batter has been mixed. The pan is ready, the oven is heated. Let's set this all aside. You know what we forgot? You know what we forgot to add? I thought this cake was hard to mix. We never added the water. It's almost like a concrete. All right, well, we're gonna come back, we're gonna mix that in, and we'll be back in maybe like 2 minutes after we mix in the water. See y'all in a minute. All right, we're back again, and we have recovered from that slight miscalculation. Our pan is ready, our batter is ready. We're gonna break out a nice spoon here. And let's see here, let's pull it on over. We're gonna lift it up, and we're just gonna go back and forth until it's kind of like pouring concrete, if you're used to that. You know, when I kept stirring it, it kept tripping the breaker to the kitchen. I was like, darn, this blender's working pretty hard to mix up this cake. And you know, when I get to looking at the ingredients, I'm like, daggone, I forgot the water. Well, we got the water in there now, and this cake is looking really good. So we're pouring in the batter. We're gonna take a little side grip there. We're just gonna get all that batter in there. We gotta get all the side batter. We gotta get all the front batter, the bottom batter. We gotta get all the batter into the pan. So we just sit there and just keep stirring it down and pushing it down until we get spoons full at a time. And we're just gonna put it right in there. All right, so we got a nice even coating of some cake in there. We'll set some water in here to make it a little easier to clean. Now while it's still wet, you take your little sprayer and just kind of spray it on the sides and loosen up that cake batter, get it off with a spoon. Pre-clean, pre-treat. All right, so our cake is ready to go. Now, just as an added bonus, because I like walnuts, we're gonna put just a few walnuts in there. Now I'm gonna get out our little quarter cup thing here, and we're just gonna gently, these are gonna be under the frosting, because I want them cooked into the batter. I want them toasted a little bit. We're just gonna sprinkle them in, and what you'll find is as the cake rises, it's gonna cover up those walnuts. Now the key, extremely important thing is, if you're gonna put nuts in your cake, you gotta make sure that there's nobody allergic to walnuts. So when I come in tomorrow, we're definitely gonna check on that. I don't think anybody is. So not too many, just a little accent flavor, just a nice walnut put on there. we'll show you what we got. There's our batter with just a few walnuts. And I better check how long we put it in there for. So this is one pan. It's about 13 by 9-ish. So it's 26 minutes. So let's put her on in there. Woo! It's hot. We're gonna set our timer for 26 minutes. I said 27 because it's actually like 26 to 32. That's a pretty wide variation. So I'm gonna assume it's not the earliest time. We'll set it to 27. We'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna munch down on my honey bun and a glass of milk. We'll come back and check this and I'll show you the ancient secret. Excuse me. Like I said, I need that honey bun. I'm gonna show you the secret of the toothpick check on how to check a cake. So we'll be back in a minute and we'll finish this thing up. Okay, we're back again. It's time to pull the cake out of the oven and let's see how we did. I highly recommend two handles to not burn yourself when you do this. You get one hand on it, you get it on the bottom, you pull it out. Well, I guess I did it with one hand, but I'm a professional. So, real quick, let's take a quick look at this cake. And you can see on the top where my walnuts are barely sticking up over the surface. Perfection, perfection. So we're gonna sit her over here and let's do our test. So the test is if you can take a toothpick, stick it in it, and if it comes out without any cake on it, then the cake is ready. So we're gonna go right in the middle because that is the hardest part to bake. So we're gonna go right in, all the way to the bottom. And I can already tell you, it's ready. There's not a bit of cake on there. So that's perfect. So let's go ahead and clear our timer. We're gonna cut off the oven. We're gonna cut off the fan. And now the only thing we gotta do is protect it from Hope so that she doesn't eat my cake before we get it started. So I'm gonna put this on the highest point in the kitchen and I'm gonna give her a bone and I'm gonna hope for the best. We'll give it about a half hour, let it cool, and we'll see you here again in just a bit and I'll show you how to frost a cake. All right, well the cake has cooled, it is ready to be frosted. Now all we need is our special frosting tool, which is somewhere in here. Aha! The special frosting tool. Now I'm gonna share with you a quick secret on putting the frosting on the cake. First, you take off this aluminum foil seal and you throw hazard to the wind, because once you get the metal out, you put the cap back on, you go over to your microwave and you put it in there for about 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, all right. We pull it out and it's a little warm, which is good. Now, you can't just put it on like that. It's been sitting on the store shelf for a while. So what I like to do, I get a small fork and we're just gonna stir it. We're just gonna go in there and we're gonna stir it up and mix it up real good. And right off the bat, you'll notice a color change because it was darker on the top where it was exposed to air. Nothing wrong with that. But by stirring it, it looks nice and rich and good, and we'll just sit there and work it for a minute. Not a whole lot, doesn't take a lot. You stir and stir, and it flows a little bit. So after you heat it up and you stir it, it's just gonna flow off of that thing. Now if we hadn't heated it up, it wouldn't do that. It's just sitting here and you'd have to get bits and pieces of it, but now I can pour it onto the cake, which will make spreading it a lot easier. So we'll just put a nice gracious topping on the top. Now I'm not real huge on a whole lot of icing, so we're not gonna go too crazy. But we'll sit that there. And now we're just gonna kind of whisk it back and forth. And it's gonna coat up the cake real nice. When you heat it, it's actually gonna fill the gaps itself. So that's definitely helpful. Now my little spatula thingy here for applying the frosting has a little bit of a bend in it. And I like to just go around like it's a race car track and just keep going around until that frosting has spread itself out. And it will. You don't gotta force it. And it will spread around, covering the entire cake. And I tell you what, this cake is looking good. It's a very good thing I had that honey bun, or my colleagues at work might be missing out on this amazing cake. So again, we're gonna hit them corners. Oh yeah. So it has filled in, it's looking good. All right. Well, good news. The cake is iced, and we are pretty much wrapped up with this episode. So let's show you the final product real quick. Here's our iced cake. Just look at how easy the frosting went on. Now it is slightly above the top of this, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a couple of coatings. I'm gonna put first saran wrap on to seal it. And we're gonna wrap it up real good to keep it airtight. And then we'll put a little aluminum foil on, which I consider a protection, and that's it, we're done. So thanks again for watching, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to comment. Thanks again.